Welcome back, my friends, to TME. Happy to be getting back with you. I hope all of you that happened to catch my trailer liked what you saw. Put a lot of work into that, and so if you did watch it, thank you. If you left a thumbs up, thank you even more. I always encourage comments, questions, anything to communicate with the outside world outside of this truck is always good with me. In this video, I just want to kind of explain to you guys what my plans are in the near future. I'm actually keeping my word. I'm sure I may have a divided audience. I think at one point I actually had some Silent Hill 2 peeps out there watching my videos. I haven't made anything on that subject for quite some time, however, so they're probably long gone. But if you are someone that watches my truck driving content and you also watched the Silent Hill 2 project, then maybe you'll appreciate what I'm about to show you. Basically, I'm working on my retrospect analysis videos for both games, the original and the remake. What I've got here that I want you to listen to is a portion of what I've got so far. Nowhere near done yet, but I want you to listen to this. It's kind of a sneak peek, and then I've just got a question for you. Now, what I'm about to play is something that I'm going to put in the video, and I've been doing a lot of writing. This is going to be a scripted video, so don't worry, it's not one of those things where I get hung up on my words and it takes me forever to get to the point. This is something where I'm actually getting to practice my writing capabilities. So what I'm about to play for you is just a portion, again, of what I've got so far. It's a very small portion, but it is a work in progress. So I want you to listen to it. Now, what I'm playing is basically my dissection, my analysis of the cutscene with James and Angela in the Blue Creek apartment. I'm breaking down the video, trying to prove a point and trying to point out things, describe things that I've caught in the video. Let me know what you think, and then I actually have a question for you, so check it out.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I'm James.
Angela.
Angela, okay. I don't know what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really? But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run. Besides, it's what we deserve.
No, I'm not like you.
Are you afraid? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
Not yet. She's not anywhere.
Did she live in this apartment building?
I don't know.
So, all you know is she lived in this town.
What did you say? How do you know that?
Well, I just figured, 'cause this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah.
Am I right?
I'm so tired.
So, why did you come to this town anyway?
I'm sorry. the person you're looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, she's dead. I don't know why I think she's here.
She's dead?
Don't worry. I'm not crazy. At least, I don't think so.
I've got to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town's dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
I'll be okay by myself. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Please don't.
Here you'll find a white door leading to our next encounter with Angela. There's more happening here than what you thought. The next cutscene with Angela demands the player's full attention and observation ability in order to interpret the complete picture of what's going on. If every aspect is observed, the player will discover that all of Angela's secrets are hiding within it. Once again, we will attempt to dissect this scene to get a better understanding of each crucial detail. Notice the various strategies that the devs used in order to convey the complexity of the most misunderstood character of Silent Hill 2. Everything from her line delivery, the tone of her voice, and her body language is imperative to take note of. Upon entering this mysterious room, James discovers Angela lying in the floor holding a knife staring toward a giant mirror directly in front of her. We can't readily tell if Angela is staring at the blade of the knife, or if she is similarly doing what James did at the beginning of the game. Is Angela self-reflecting in this scene, or is she merely staring at the edge of the blade? The dialogue starts with Angela stating, "Oh, it's you." They then properly introduce themselves to one another, followed by James's comment of, "I don't know what you're planning, but there's always another way." Angela replies with, "Really? But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run. Besides, it's what we deserve." Again, this is the story reinforcing the commonality between the two characters. They are the same because they are both in Silent Hill, experiencing a reflection of what's within themselves brought on by the energy of the town. Their delusional experiences differ, but the town is responding to their energy in the exact same way, by manifesting a reflection of their inner turmoil into the physical world. Angela states that it's easier to run away from the truth than it is to face and accept the reality of consequences that will ultimately emerge from the result of the actions and choices that she has made. She then acknowledges that she believes the manifestations of her delusions are consequentially what she deserves. She relates herself to James once again to affirm that likewise, he also deserves what he is experiencing. James then replies with, "No, I'm not like you." After making this comment, notice how her demeanor completely changes as she challenges James's denial with the question, "Are you afraid?" Notice how her voice changes here. She lashes out at him, prodding him with this question, almost like she's trying to provoke or taunt him to react in acknowledging his own denial. Her demeanor then immediately changes as she apologizes. I'm sorry." Her voice changes back into a clouded, diluted state. This implies that there is more to Angela than what meets the eye. Her demeanor is completely different when she asks. This is the first subtle hint that the game gives you pointing toward her aggression. James continues with asking her if she found her mother. And she responds in saying, "Not yet, she's not anywhere." The conversation once again shifts when James begins questioning the whereabouts of her mother. "So all you know is she lived in this town?" This question seems to strike a chord in Angela and provokes her to quickly sit up from her lying down position. Suddenly, a rush of panic shoots through her. She's no longer comfortable enough to rest. It's as if his question connecting her mother with the town has triggered some kind of dormant memory within her. His question has forced her to recall a connection or affirmation of a repressed memory buried deep within her, or some sort of truth that she is eagerly striving to forget. Whatever this buried truth within her represents, she is obviously not comfortable at the thought of it entering her mind. It must be related to what she means when she mentions that running away is easier. Because in order for her to follow through with the acts that she has committed, she would have had to forget about and let go of this particular thought or memory within her mind. Anything that triggers her remembrance of this connection with her mother is too much for her to think about after the acts that she has committed. Am I referring to her act of stabbing her father to death? Yes, but that is only the tip of the iceberg. There are many other acts that I am referring to. She gets very defensive when she responds to his question. This is a brilliant dialogue. Notice that to avoid answering his question, she responds with another question. And once again, that aggression has suddenly returned. What did you say? It's like she's frustrated at his question because it's forcing her to recall something that she wants to forget. How did you know that? After she thinks more about his question, it provokes her denial to become even more defensive. In my opinion, this must be what she's thinking. What did you say? Oh, I know what you said. I don't like what you said. Don't say it again. Better yet, how do you know that? What makes you so smart to assume that you know anything about me? These are all subtle forms of denial that cause someone with a secret to respond in a defensive way when questioned about anything pertaining to a hidden truth. She is also clearly paranoid at the thought of James, or anyone else catching on to her secrets. She's so uncomfortable that she has even tried to convince herself that she is innocent. Seeing that she is clearly getting upset at him over his natural concern and curiosity, James quickly disarms her by saying, "Well, I just figured, because this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know that your mother lived in this town?" The tone of James's voice changes with his question and provokes the player to relate to his confusion. Remember how we discussed the background image on the load save menu? Another thing to point out about the extreme close-up of James's face on this menu is that the game is subtly telling the player that they are essentially James. Therefore, the game is allotting the player the responsibility of relating to everything that James experiences. The tone of his voice right here is definitely something that people have related to. My response in connecting to his question has always directed these thoughts toward Angela. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you getting so defensive with these innocent questions? James is only trying to get acquainted with Angela. His questions reflect his own sincerity and concern for her. Imagine walking in on someone who is laid out on the floor, holding a knife and staring intently at it. I don't think anyone would be out of line for being slightly concerned. A score to settle. Takayoshi Sato is the brilliant mind behind all of the character design in this game. In an interview, he once stated a very important detail about Angela Orozco. Though she portrays the persona of a female adult, she is actually only 19 years old. The voice actress, Donna Burke, who performed the voice of Angela, was in her mid-30s when the game was developed. Sato stated that his choice to cast Burke, an older woman, to voice Angela was intentional. The intention behind the design of Angela's character is that though she is so young, she has been through an extreme amount of trauma for someone her age. The history of abuse in her family is one form of this trauma. However, I speculate that her recent actions have also contributed to the present state of her character. I will elaborate more on this statement throughout the entirety of this video. Back to the conversation. After assuring her that he doesn't sense any suspicion, she quickly calms back down. By the way, quickly going back to his original question, he asks her, "So all you know is that your mother lived in this town?" I want to imply a big emphasis on the word lived, as in past tense. He then continues to question, "Am I right?" Her only response is, "I'm so tired." This is an important and noteworthy statement that she makes. It alludes to his next question, "So why did you come to this town anyway?" It implies that she has been very preoccupied since her arrival into town. She has been searching incessantly, and this reinforces the evidence that we have found up to this point. All of the clues that the game leaves for James to find. The newspapers just outside the cemetery where James first met Angela, the additional newspapers at Neely's bar. If you can recall, there are several newspapers scattered around outside the Woodside apartment building, as well as in room 210 and 303. These are all subtle details, alluding to Angela's story that the game leaves for James to find. If at this point you don't realize why Angela is so tired, or what exactly it is that she's running from, don't fret because this is just the beginning. Anyway, their conversation continues with Angela questioning James's progress with finding the person he's looking for. He then goes on to show her a picture of Mary and admits that he doesn't know why he thinks he'll find her here, because she's dead. I believe that this statement startles Angela, not because Mary is actually dead, but because James readily admits that she's dead. As previously mentioned, I believe that Angela has suspected the truth about James since their first encounter. Why else would she tell him that he's just like her, and that it's easier just to run? The factor that takes her by surprise is James's ability to admit that Mary is actually dead. This is something that Angela can't seem to do in relation to the family members that she's looking for. So in my opinion, when she gets up here and says, "I gotta find my mama," it's not because she's afraid of James. It's because of the fact that she believes that her and James are the same. If James can accept the truth that Mary is dead, this provokes her fear of potentially having to accept the truth that her family is also dead. And if she accepts that her family is dead, it would then lead her to the need of accepting why and how they died. And this truth is what Angela is running from. When James offers to go with Angela to find her mama, she quickly forms an excuse as to why he shouldn't come, by saying that she'd just slow him down. He then questions her again about her intentions with the knife, followed with her request for him to hang on to it for her. She then admits that if she keeps the knife, she's not sure what she will do with it. This implies that she is not mentally stable, and she questions her own motives, especially with a potentially dangerous weapon. Once again, as James reaches for the knife, she reacts in defense. Another act to affirm how incapable she is of trust, especially trust in men. She apologizes one last time before stating, "I've been bad, please don't," and then proceeds to rush out of the room. If you are aware of how things land at the end of the game with Angela, her statement here might evoke a whole new meaning for you. James is then left to examine the knife, which appears to be stained with blood. Another clue that Angela leaves behind is the torn photo of her family lying in the floor, and the prisoner coin, which is the final key item that we need to progress in the Blue Creek apartments. After collecting this item, James can quickly head over to room 105 to complete the game's next puzzle. Kubler-Ross, 5 Stages of Grief. There is an ingenious dynamic of character development unfolding here, one which I will elaborate much more on in the future. But for now, I would like to initially address and present what Silent Hill 2 is actually about. The main theme of this story in its simplest of forms is all about coping with grief. There are 3 very different characters in this story, who possess 3 very different responses regarding the coping mechanisms associated with grief. However, James, Angela, and Eddie all share the same model or stages to it. According to Kubler-Ross, there are 5 stages of grief that any human being is exposed to when facing it. These stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and hopefully in the end, acceptance. These stages, or coping mechanisms, can be triggered at random and in any order, with the exception of acceptance, which is the final stage. Throughout this breakdown of Silent Hill 2, we will continue to reflect on the various aspects of how the story relates to this theory, solving the coin puzzle. In room 105, Uncle David's...
Okay, so that's what I wanted you guys to hear. And as you can see, it's very, very, very detailed. So it's a lot of reading. One reason why I went to so much effort to put so much detail into that cutscene is because it's one of the key cutscenes of the entire game. It's a really important one. And it's really essential to understanding the story. Like you have to understand what's going on in that cutscene to understand everything about Angela. Like I said at the beginning, like all of her secrets are in that cutscene. And that's kind of evidence to my theory about her. But what my question is, because it's so detailed and it goes on for so long, should I split it up into like smaller videos? Should I like section it out to where there are several analysis videos breaking down the story? Or should I put it all in one video? I mean, the obvious answer would be it would be so long if you put it in one video, nobody would watch the whole thing, or it'd probably take them a long time. So then they'd probably just eventually lose interest in it. So in my mind, it makes more sense to break it down into smaller sections. But if I do that, here's the thing. I'm gonna have a shit ton of Silent Hill videos on my channel. And my channel's not about Silent Hill. Silent Hill is just one thing that I'm interested in. You get what I'm saying? If I make that many videos about Silent Hill, which is kind of what I've already done when I did my project, I think it might confuse the algorithm on YouTube. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know, because, well, apparently I'm not that great at making truck driving videos, but I want to keep making these. So I really don't know. By the way, you might be wondering why there's a woman reading it, and that's just simply because I'm using a text-to-speech AI app. It's called Speechify, and I'm using it in the video because I figured that, you know, my voice combined with that much reading, it probably wouldn't turn out very well. So I kind of like the way her voice sounds, and there are other voices I can pick in Speechify, but I kind of like her voice. It's one of my favorite ones, so that's why I chose that one. There's also this like old British guy that sounds kind of cool. I'm kind of debating on which one I should choose. The last thing I'll say about it is, as far as the visuals go, because it is going to be a video, so it's going to have a lot of visuals from the game, but instead of just having plain old video, I thought that I might do like a comic book style clip art kind of thing that goes through each scene. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm talking about, but have a little bit of actual motion video from the game in the analysis video, but mainly just break it down and have like screenshots, but do it in like a comic book style where, you know, it's like clip art or something, where I can point certain things out and go into greater detail about things that I want to talk about in the video. But anyway, yeah, if you're interested, I hope you are. If you are, awesome. Leave a thumbs up on this video, leave a comment, let me know. Should I make it all one video, or should I break it down into sections? I'm leaning toward breaking it down into sections, but if you don't think I should do that, let me know. Another good thing about breaking it down into sections is that you guys will be able to have access to it faster. Whereas if I put it all in one video, I'm gonna have to wait until I'm completely done with it to publish it to TME. So let me know. Thanks for watching this. Stay tuned. I'll get back with you soon. All right, later.